What's good, everyone? So I'm in the process of working on a trader hall, and I realized with all of these villagers, why don't I also have it work as an Iron Golem farm? So that's what we did here. So on Timeless Travelers Tutorials, we're going to talk about how to build an 80 villager trading hall that comes built in with an Iron Golem farm. So what's nice about this farm is we have a quick way of getting up and down. There's a nice little bubble column. Boom, you have all of your villagers ready. And we're going to go over a zombification process on how to cure all of them. Instead of doing it one by one like some tutorial videos, we're going to just do them all at once. It is much cheaper doing it all at once because you don't have to use as many splash potions. So as you can see, we don't cure the clerics. I'll talk about that later. But as you can see, we have very cheap trades. You can get sharpness 5 for 1 emerald, mending, power 5. Everything is extremely cheap. And then we have a nice, easy way down. All right, everyone, let's set up to start building. So as you start building, make sure that you are at least 100 blocks away from anything village related. That means anything with a villager, bed, or workstation, as it can affect the rates and mess up what is read as separate villages or try to combine them as one village. So go ahead, and to start your build, you're going to need your temporary blocks. We're going to build up by 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is to prevent iron golems from spawning on the ground. We want to make sure they stay contained. This also helps us have extra space for our storage so we can stack it down and we have a little bit more room for that. Okay. And then from here, just go ahead and make a 4x4 with a 2x2 gap. And you can go ahead and remove all of this. We don't need that anymore. When you're in survival, you may need some way of getting up and down. You can use a water bucket or just stack up. Whatever you want to do, however it works for you, go ahead and do that. And then as you're up here, go ahead and build out 8 total. So counting this block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then do the same thing on the remaining 4 sides. Once you're done with that, you should have something that looks like this. So then we just want to fill this all in until you have a perfect 18 by 18 square. And when you're done with that, you should have a nice 18 by 18 square. Next, we're going to bring out the beds, and we're going to go out by 1, 2, and on the third, go ahead and place down your 2 beds down the center. Then we want 2 on each side. You can put a couple right here, just on one side. And then we're going to add 2 more rows of 6. That way we have 20 beds on one side. Each side is going to have 20, so that means we have 80 beds for 80 villagers. So go ahead and repeat this process on the other 3 sides. And once you're done with that, you want to go ahead and just break all of these temporary blocks. We no longer need them. Once you're done with that, you're going to want to go ahead and take out your building block. Go ahead and just like with our temporary blocks, you're going to want to build a 4x4 with a 2x2 gap. And then exactly the same as with the temporary blocks, you're going to repeat that whole process over again. So going out by an additional 7 blocks. It's going to be in line with the beds. And that way you'll know that you have it set up right. And then, of course, fill in the square once you are done. Once that's done, it should look a lot like this. You're going to have an 18 by 18 square with a 2x2 gap in the middle. And you should have something that looks something like this right underneath. Again, all the blocks are lined up with the beds. And now you want to get out your building block. Go ahead, go to any side, any corner, doesn't matter. You want to go up 1 and out like that. And you want to bring this out by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you want to go all the way around and have an additional ring going all the way around, bringing it out by that 6 blocks. When that's done, you'll have something that looks something like this with the blocks going out by 6 on all 4 sides. And go ahead and get out your water and create a water source, do whatever. And we're just going to fill up one whole side with source blocks. Good. And do the same thing on the other side. You're going to see we have this little narrow 2 wide gap. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to place them down the middle, of course. Now it's going to create a dead spot right here. So make sure on out by 1 on both sides, and it will get rid of those dead spots. So you're going to place down 4 water sources in total. And you're going to have something that looks just like this. Next, you want to get out your building block. And you want to just go around this entire perimeter just once for now. And once you go around the entire perimeter, around the entire ring once, go ahead and place slabs on top, going all the way around. All right, now what we want to do is go ahead and stack up by 3 with our building blocks and take this all the way around. There we go. And just wrap that around until you cover all 4 sides. And then go ahead on each corner, go ahead and just fill that in. We need to make sure that we have a nice enclosure for all of our villagers. As you see, I already kind of filled it in on the corners. Just stack up 1, 2 at every corner. Then go ahead and get out your trapdoors. And you want to just place them all down, all the way until you reach the end. And then, of course, open every single one. This is going to help keep our villagers contained. Every single spot, if I get in right here, and we're going to have this space is going to be covered. They're not going to be able to get anywhere. So they'll be inside each one of these. And the cool thing is that when they're zombified, they won't actually be able to attack their cured people, their cured villagers. So this works very well. We can do the whole zombification process all at once. So go ahead and I will see you once you complete all 4 sides with the trapdoors. When you have that, go ahead and get out your building block. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 on the corners. All the corners you're going to want to have this little spot of 3. And then you're going to take your slabs and you're just going to go all the way around. This is going to prevent our villagers from coming out. This will help keep them trapped in. Right underneath these slabs, too, is where we're going to put our workstations. So they'll always have access to their workstations, and they're not going to go anywhere. They're going to be able to refresh their trades and stay safe from any mob that may happen to get in if it is not yet mob-proofed. Let's go ahead and finish this ring all the way around. Now it should look like this. Your enclosures for all 80 villagers should be ready by now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on the railing. Now again, like I said earlier, you can use iron bars, you can use fencing, you can use walls. It's up to you how you want to do it. This is just to prevent when you're walking around, you don't just accidentally oops. It's just a nice little railing. It's up to you. You can not have it. You can skip this part if you want, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our railing. So pay attention to this center block here if we want to keep our way up and down even. So we're going to go here. I'm going to go here. Okay. I'm going to come out like this. And we're going to do one more. So we're going to come out by 2. I want you to just take out those 2 blocks right there. Okay. And then just put your railing all the way around. And then just put your railing, your bars, your fence posts, your walls, whichever you want to do. Pick your poison. Just go all the way around, of course. You have the railing in, go ahead and get out the glass. We're going to work on our bubble columns, working up and down the farm so we have quick access to our trades. Go ahead and just build glass all the way down. We're going to go, there we go. Okay, we're going to go here and here and here, like so. Now what we're going to do with the front, so say we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can break that because that's going to be our entrance / exits. And then just continue building until you complete the tube. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and get out our, we're going to get out our glass. And just go out by 1 more on each side. Go ahead and get your buttons to keep the water in place. We're going to place buttons here. We're not going to place a button here, We're going to instead place them here and all the way up the rest of this tube. Okay? Go ahead and put your water source here. That's going to reset our fall damage when we drop down for a quick way out. And then we want to get out your soul sand. And however you want to create your water source, your vertical water source, using the kelp method, ice blocks, whatever you want to do, just go ahead and do that for the rest of this part. I'm just going to slap some water sources on here until it takes me all the way up. And there you go. We have a way up, we have a way down. Reset the fall damage so you don't get hurt. Boom, and you can begin trading. Let's go on to the next step. All right, we're now underneath our farm. Let's work on our kill chamber. So go ahead and get out your glass blocks and just go down by 3 on all 4 sides. Like so. Go ahead and get out your buttons, whatever side you want to start on, it's up to you. On that middle level of glass blocks, just go ahead and place 2 on the opposing sides. All right, go ahead and get out your lava and just place it down. You can use 1 bucket, you can use all 4. If you like to even it out like me, it doesn't matter. It'll work just the same. And then place a temporary block here. And just connect your hoppers, not that way. Let's make sure all of your items flow eventually to this hopper, and that is our kill chamber. Okay, now that we have our kill chamber, let's work on how to sort and store all of our new items, yeah? So we're going to work on our first hopper line. So we're going to go out by, it's going to start here, so 1, 2, and on the third one, we're actually going to go down like that, like so, okay? So go ahead and get out your hoppers and place 1 there. We can break these blocks and just connect that. No, not you. Connect the hopper line there. The reason why we have this one going down is because this is at the very end. This is the 3rd hopper to carry items. And because there's only 3 things that are going to come out of this farm, we don't really need to create a whole another thing of circuitry. It just saves resources. This is going to be our flowers that we're going to turn into bone meal. So it's going to go straight into a composter from here. So if you want, you can go ahead and just do that now. Get out your composter. Okay. And now we're going to work on our second hopper line. This one's going to go into our redstone circuitry. So we just go out like that and just ignore that. Go out like this. Go ahead and place your hoppers facing that way. And then we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. This is going to go into our storage, into our chests. Forgot one. And there you go. I'm just going to do a little bit of storage right now. There's all different ways to do storage. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. Everybody has their own preferred method of storage. I'm not going to really tell you how to do that. I'm just going to have like a little staircase working its way down. That's one of my favorite ways of doing it, but you may have other ways. That is totally fine. So feel free to do so. You're going to want to put a solid block here to hold our comparators. You're going to want to go up 1 and over like that. You're going to want to put some glass here. Go ahead and go out by 1 more and down. And then we're going to go over like that. Just break these 2 and complete it. And that is our framework for the redstone circuitry and the item sorter. So now we can begin programming our redstone circuitry and setting everything up. So go ahead, once you have your frame, go ahead and slap down some comparators. This redstone circuitry is pretty simple, easy to follow along. Slap your dust right here on all 6 surfaces. I want you to place your torches right here. And then we just need a repeater at its default setting, right like so. And there you have it. That is it. Very simple, very easy to use. This is one of my most commonly used redstone components and circuitries used. And then we're going to go program our sorters. So all the items are going to go through here, our iron, our string, our flowers, right? We want each one to have a different setting. So what I got here is I got some dirt. Now this could be any block that is cheap that you don't really care to have in your sorter. Anything that's not going to go through and be produced by the farm. So don't use iron, don't use string, and don't use the flowers for this part of the programming for these 4 slots right here, okay? And then in that other slot, you're going to just slap your iron in there. This number is going to drop all the way down to 41. There we go. So it can hold a maximum of 2, 3, 4, 45 items before it emits a redstone signal of 3. Once it emits a redstone signal of 3, it will power this off, which powers this off, which powers this off, which unlocks the hopper, which is why we always have an item in here because it is locked. Once it's unlocked, it will let all of those iron ingots travel through. Same thing goes for our string. If we were to program it in the same way, go ahead and slap those 4 blocks in there. Oh, here we go. And then as you can see, we have a redstone signal of 3. This is powered off, which unlocks the hopper. Once it goes back down to 41, there we go. It goes back to a redstone signal of 2, locking that hopper again. And as you can see, wrong chest, we have our items sorted. And again, we don't need to worry about this because the only item left is going to be the flowers. And they're obviously not going to go through here because the slots are full. So the only other place they have to go is going to be the composter. And of course, once it reaches a certain amount, it'll just drop Bonemeal down in the chest. So now at this point, you have everything you need to get this farm going. You have a way up, you have a way down, you have your kill chamber, collection chamber, you have all the beds, all the little pods to keep your villagers contained. You have your sorting system. The only thing we don't have now is the villagers, and this is going to be the longest process. But don't worry, once you have it done, it's good to go, and you are going to have iron, you're going to have trades. So I just made this little space right here. Just imagine that this is like a nether portal with a bunch of villagers gathered up. I just made a little spot here for demonstration purposes. This is just my way of getting the villagers in. If you have a way that works for you, then go ahead and do so. But essentially, you want your rails to go into right about, I think that should go, there we go. And when you get out your cart, it's going to just grab one. And the way we have it set up here is it's going to go, you want it to cover as many spaces as possible to make sure that it always picks up one of your villagers. And it's going to look like this, which is fine. You're going to want to break that. He's going to fall right in there. He's ready to go. He just needs a job, and he's ready to help you out and give you the trades that you want. And you just want to break that rail, and you're going to want to do this 80 times. I know it is a process, but believe me, it works. And once you have it down, like I said, you're going to have all of those trades to work with. So go ahead, and then you want to do the same thing. I'm not going to actually do this whole thing. I'm just going to show you a couple times. As you can see, like so. I do want to note, however, that so as you're putting them in, so we're going to get in our villagers, and you're going to start assigning them jobs, right? Now, you don't want to get all 80 villagers in just yet, all at once, and then assign them jobs, simply because if you have, say, all 80 villagers in here, and you place down a workstation, it will not sync up to the one that's in front of it. It could sync up to one of the villagers that's way over there, and you wouldn't know unless you traveled all the way around to see if he got assigned. Then you have to go all the way back, break that workstation, and bring it back to this one. That is a very lengthy and unnecessary process. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend you only bring in, I'd say, no more than 10. If you want to go more at a time, then no more than 20. simply because you can see all 20 on one side. But I would say just keep it a smaller number, stick to 10 at the most. All right, and then once you have your villagers in and you're ready to assign them a job, again, you can use whatever workstations you want. It really depends on what trades you're going to want for your world. I'm going to start off by using these blast furnaces. That way, later on down the line, when I max out their trades, I have access to enchanted diamond armor. That way I don't have to go mining. I haven't used an enchanting table. I just use that. So as you can see here, he automatically assigned to this one. This is why you don't want to use all 80. This is a visual way of showing you that. So imagine if I placed this down and I had a villager all the way over there that took this trade. I wouldn't really know. So I think it was this one that took the second job. There we go. So then this is going to be how you assign the jobs to all of your villagers. And when it comes down to your librarians and your farmers, if you don't like the food that they give you and the enchantments that they give, you can always just break their workstation and you can change their trades. I can't do it with these guys. Actually, just to give a little visual, there we go. See, he changed his trades here. And we'll get a little more into that as we go down further into this video. But for the time being, just go ahead and finish assigning your villagers their professions. And by the time you reach 10, you're already going to start spawning iron golems. So you're already making iron while you are finishing up this iron farm. There. As you can see, we already have an iron golem spawning. We have about 20, 35, 36 villagers here. So we already have cats, we have iron. So you're not even done putting in your villagers. You're not done building this farm, and we'll see, we already have iron. So that's a plus. You're already making back some of that iron you made with some of the materials that we used. All right, now once that is done, you're gonna have all 80 villagers in. See, we already have iron. So this is gonna be good for it because the next step is going to take a while. So during that time, you're gonna be accumulating a decent amount of iron, a little bit of string, and a little bit of bone meal. So what we're gonna do next is we're not gonna lock them in yet. We're simply going to optimize our trades. So if you have any librarians, for example, we're gonna start here. So he's giving us channeling 1 for 18. If you don't like that trade, if you want to get channeling 1 for cheaper, or you just want to change the trade altogether, go ahead and break his workstation, give him a different one, and see we now have efficiency 1 for 6 emeralds. That's not really the best thing. Of course, we want efficiency 5, but you want to repeat this process all the way down for all of your librarians. Now, I would recommend creating a list to organize all of your librarians and also what trades they provide at what price. So reason being, say we'll go down to this. No, we'll go to this one. See if there we go. So knockback 1 for 16. Say that's really good. Say we want to keep that, right? We don't lock him in yet. We don't trade with him. We just keep repeating the process of resetting the trades until we get what we want out of all of our villagers, okay? Say we come further down the line, and then this guy is going to give us knockback 1 for 10 emeralds instead of 16. So that's why we don't lock them in. We can just come back here and change his trade. Is this the one? No. That might be. Nope. But you know where I'm getting at. You can come back. There we go. You can come back to that villager and you can change out his trade again until you get something that is more preferred. And just keep doing that until you have all of your librarians set up to the perfect enchanted book level at an optimized price. It may take a very long time. It may not take much time at all. It really depends on the randomness of how the trades are selected. Same thing goes for your farmers. If you don't like the food that they are accepting or the food that they are offering, if you want apples because you want golden apples, you have a gold farm. If you're growing a bunch of beets and you're not growing potatoes, you could just repeat that same process of breaking their workstation and giving them a new one to refresh their trade. Same thing goes for all of these that have different level 1 and level 2 trades. So go ahead and do that. Select your trades without locking them in. Do not trade with them yet, but just select the ones you want. Now we can go into locking in our trades. Once you have all the trades that you have selected, we can lock them in for the zombification process, because once they turn into zombies, if we don't lock them in with their trades, then they will lose their professions, and you will, once they are cured, they will not have the same jobs. All their stations will be here, but this could end up being a toolsmith, that could be a farmer, these two could be librarians. It will create a massive mess, and you will have to take all 80 workstations out and do the process that I mentioned that we don't want to have happen earlier on in this video. So we can go ahead and just now that we have them at the best trades possible, just go ahead and start trading with them. Just have to trade with them once. And so now this guy will always remain a farmer. We could break his workstation. He's not going anywhere. He's still a farmer. He's still got the same trade. When we put it back, he links back to the workstation. Same trade, okay? So I want you to trade with all of these villagers just once. You don't need to waste time and resource. Just go ahead and trade once with every single one, lock in their trades. Now, for the clerics, this is a personal choice. I would say if you have a gold farm that produces large, unnecessary amounts of rotten flesh, I would say not to cure these ones. So you can go ahead and lock them in. It doesn't really matter because you would not be curing them. The reason being is that as it stands right now, they will take 32 rotten flesh per emerald. Now, if you cure them, they will give you 1 emerald for 1 rotten flesh, which if you end up accumulating unnecessarily large amounts of rotten flesh, that is not a good deal, because you will not be able to get rid of your rotten flesh as easily for profit. So, because it is pretty much so useless and we just want to get rid of it as soon as possible, I would just recommend just don't cure them. Just leave them at taking 32, just a half a stack. If you have a gold farm and you go AFK for an hour, you're going to have a double chest full of rotten flesh. You're not going to take the time to trade 1 at a time per emerald. I would just recommend just don't cure them. And we will show how to protect them from the zombification process as time goes on. So go ahead and finish trading and locking in every single one of your villagers, and we will get on to the next step after that. Now we can begin the zombification process. So as you can see, we have a little just rail system set up, and this is going to take them, you want them to get on top of this slab here, okay? We only need 1. You can use 2 if you do not want to be a part of the process. You're going to need a little bit of muscle power here. You'll see what that means in just a moment. But just make sure that you have your rail system set up to bring them onto this slab. I would just have them start off on one side right here, okay? So we're going to bring them down here. And also, before you go any further, before you have them go anywhere near your villagers, please make sure that you are playing on hard difficulty. On hard difficulty, there is a 100% chance of a conversion from villager to zombie villager. People of Craft, I have to apologize. I made a minor mistake. Not too big. Just a minor mistake. So the reason why it was acting a little weird, and I didn't think about this because I never encountered this issue, is they will not pathfind with that solid block here. Maybe some of you already knew this and you were probably screaming at me like, yo, you need to put those half slabs there. So you're going to see we need to actually remove all of this and just place half slabs here. And once you have that, then we can begin putting our zombies in and continue the zombification process. I apologize for that, everyone. Carry on. All right, team, we're going to try this one more time. So what we did here is, like I said, just go ahead and replace all those solid blocks with slabs. Just know that we are going to get rid of those slabs for the final version of this build. So I just go ahead, I just reorganized the rails. We're going to go ahead and try that all over again. Go ahead and get your minecart and get your zombie and just send him off. Now he should immediately start causing some havoc because he's a madman. Now here's where you come in. So the cool thing is that when they're on these slabs, they actually can't pathfind over this slab. It is 1 block high, but because they are technically on a half level instead of a full level, their minds just can't process it. They don't recognize that, oh, this is just exactly 1 block up, and what they can normally jump up, they can't. So in survival, you'll actually be safe on this side. You don't have to worry. You can be right here, just playing cards with them, doing whatever. But mainly what you want to do is you want to keep pushing them forward, because what you're going to see is, so see, he goes after this one. He can't touch this one because he's up against this side. So it's your job to kind of push him that way, because every time he hits him, he pushes him towards you. So you're just kind of working together. It's a little tedious. It doesn't take too long though, a few hits, and they are done for. And there you go. Just do this with all 80 villagers, or 75 because of the clerics. Another alternative is you can just have another zombie on the other side, and they can both work together. If you don't want to just sit back and monitor their progress, you can go ahead and stay involved and just be on this side, pushing them up against that other zombie. So with our clerics, or any villager that you want to keep with their regularly priced trades, just go ahead and put some slabs right out where they're at. Just bring this out by 1 on both sides, especially if you're going to use the 2 zombie method. And when a zombie is here, they won't be able to actually reach. Now, they might be able to reach from here, so just for safety purposes, I would say just add another one, and they'll be able to get this guy, but they won't be able to reach far enough to get this guy right here. So go ahead and keep that there, and then you can keep your clerics safe if you want to keep their default trade. Okay, everyone, and once you have that done, you're going to have all of your selected villagers zombified. Now we can begin curing all of them. So I say we wait for the curing process until they're all in here, instead of doing it 1 by 1, just to save on splash potions, and we could save gunpowder and save glass bottles. So you can get about 5 to 6 villagers at a time per splash potion. Make sure we have our splash potion of weakness. So we're going to go out by 1, 2, and about 3. Aim right about here. And then go ahead and just give all of them a golden apple. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll know they're about to be cured because you see those gray circles, they changed to red. So if we do this again, I'm going to focus on the gray spirals this time. It may go over again. That's okay. Just go ahead and slap another apple on him. But then you see these gray spirals. Once you hit them with the golden apple, they're going to turn red, and they're going to become regular villagers. And you don't have to worry about them attacking each other. They will not attack the regular villagers as zombies, so they are completely safe in their spaces. So go ahead and just repeat this process of curing your villagers. And there you go. Now we just need to put on some bells and whistles, the lighting system and all that. We're going to get rid of these slabs and put our solid blocks back on. So once they are cured, then we will get to that. So we will see you in just a moment. And so one thing that is very important that I need to point out is that now, even though they are all cured, they all have their same jobs. They may have unlinked from their specific workstation, meaning that, say, this guy could be linked to this workstation. This guy could be linked over to this workstation. So this is why we want to make sure that they are locked in with their trades. So now say we have 10 armorers right here. This is going to be a little tedious, but you're going to want to you may have to end up doing what I'm doing here. And you see how some of them are getting angry and they're nowhere near that right workstation. See? So you're going to want to do this for all of your villagers. I know it's a bit of a process. Placing it down again. But they keep their jobs, so we don't have to worry about reassigning new jobs, and it will stay in a much smaller space. We don't have to worry about doing this for 80 villagers to reset their profession. Okay, everyone, and now that we've gone through the whole lengthy process of relinking some of our villagers if needed, with their workstations again. You take a look and we have all of the trades that we could possibly hope for, all for the nice price of 1 emerald. Now we're gonna go ahead and just slap in our lights and just kind of decorate it a little bit, okay? So what we want to do is you can get rid of these slabs. You go ahead and take care of all that, and you're gonna just raise it up by 1, like so, and work your way all around. We also want to fill that in like so, that way they have a little bit more cover and protection from the lightning. And then once you have that top layer set up like so, go ahead and take out these slabs. We don't need them anymore. We're gonna go ahead and take them out and replace them with a building block. So we're gonna show one side, and that way they're completely sealed off. We don't have to worry about lightning getting them from that area. So we will see you after that is done. All right, it should look something like this. Now you want to go ahead and get out your lighting system, your torches, your shroom lights, sea lanterns, glowstone, whatever you want to do. And just every so often, just go ahead and slap your lights all across here. This will just keep things lit up. Looks a little better, keeps mobs away, all that. You could also just go ahead and slap a ring of slabs all the way around and put your lights down here. Entirely up to you. But this might be a little bit easier if you're in survival to just kind of stand along here and just, you know, as you're walking, just slap one down like so. What we're going to do now is we are slapping some slabs out like that. And we're just going to go around just once. Just put another ring of slabs on. Oh, there we go. And we'll see you when that is done. And the last step, go ahead and get out your lanterns. And however you set this up is entirely up to you. I just decided to do like a certain pattern to it. So what I did was every 3 spaces, I slap one down. 1, 2, 3. On the 4th, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to do something differently, then go ahead, feel free to do so. It is your choice how you want this lit up. So this is it. This is your 80 villager trading hall, complete with an iron farm with a little bit of string and a small bit of bone meal. I would not count this as a proper bone meal farm. This is just kind of like a small byproduct. As you can see, since we have started producing iron golems, we've only made about 5 bone meal. Not much time has passed. So I would not count on this as a reliable source of bone meal. However, if you AFK long enough, after a day, you'll get a couple stacks of string. There are other methods to obtaining string as well, of course, but this is just another bit of string income, okay? And then, of course, we have a little bit of iron. I'd say almost an hour has passed since we started putting this together. A little less than that since the golem started spawning, so that's about the average amount of iron to get. And, well, there you have it, everyone. This is the complete build. And that concludes our video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see. Let me know how this build is working out for you, how the rates are going. If you have any questions, let me know. And we will see you all again in our next video. Thank you all again so much for coming, and we will see you later.